Hello, and welcome back to Landermause. Today, we will be going over the many islands of this moon, exploring the odd animals that evolve in these very isolated and unique areas. But where should we start? There are 5 different islands we could choose from. How about we start with the islands in the bottom left corner, and see what evolves there. On the islands of Linsel, only one bat species is native to this land, the brown bats. Unlike the mainland, where they have constant competition, here these bats have breathing room to dominate their environment instead of constant competition. One of the earliest animals to appear on these islands, the long-legged bat, has evolved a longer tail and longer legs to help catch aquatic insects. The skin flap between their tails and legs creates a natural net structure these bats can use to catch insects. While this can work on any of their prey, aquatic insects such as pond skaters are their favorite choice, often flying above rivers searching for these insects. In order to avoid competition with each other, some long-legged bats would evolve for other niches in order to coexist, such as the was. With their stronger back legs, they could actually walk, unlike other flightless bats who have to hop around due to their weaker legs. Having abandoned the ability to fly, these bats instead eat whatever they find on the ground, using their extended whiskers to help them find insects on the ground. While niche partitioning worked at first, there's just not enough insects for all these bats, so some bigger landermause decided to extend their diet beyond insects. The wager bat is the apex predator of these islands. Using their long legs and sharp teeth, they catch any bat smaller than them. They are also the first true bat predators, since the vampire bats on the mainland only consume blood, leaving the body alone to rot. Now, while this is a bat seed world, let's not forget about the other seeded animals here, such as the croaker fish. On these islands, they have experienced great success due to the lack of river dolphins in this environment, allowing them to take niches they normally couldn't. Having become the apex predator of these rivers, the grokewasher spends their days searching for anything that can fit into their mouths. While aquatic invertebrates and other croaker fish make up most of their diet, similar to crocodilians on the mainland, these fish have a taste for bats. They can be seen waiting right below the surface, waiting for a bat to take a drink before quickly lunging at them and dragging them into the water. That isn't the end yet, however, as we still have one last bat to go over for this island. A descendant of the wager bat, the miris, has adapted for a new diet of fish and aquatic invertebrates. They spend their days soaring above the sea. As they look for food, they find new lands far beyond their small islands to call home. One island down, 4 to go, but where to next? I know while this is a bat seed world, it is important we give our other animals some love. So why don't we look at the top right island of Insame, which for the time is the only place to have no bats at all. Quite an odd island Insame is, as not only are bats not present here, but neither are any trees, leaving bamboo to dominate the land. While it's a very different environment, this won't the animals here from thriving. It's like the animal you see right in front of us. The humble bamboo ant is a descendant of honeypots ants that has evolved to center their lifestyles almost entirely around bamboo. They eat and make their hives in these hollow towering plants where their queen and their young can live safely. While they have switched to a more herbivorous diet due to all the bamboo around them, these ants still occasionally go out to hunt prey and to gather nectar so they can make their honey for the next generation. They aren't alone, however, as creeping nearby a large buipede crawls up the bamboo, eating it as they try to hide away from predators. These millipede descendants, as you might have guessed, have evolved to eat bamboo, specifically. In order to blend in, the buipede's exoskeleton looks very similar to a bamboo stalk, allowing them to hide from predators such as the tarantula. While bamboo is nice and ripe, animals like the wrisic haven't forgotten about other plants, such as the grasses around them. A huge descendant of modern-day slugs, these giants spend their days browsing the many grasses, acting as the megafauna on this island. As big as they are, even these giants have a predator to look out for, since grazing isn't always peaceful. A descendant of tarantulas, the tarantula has a more active lifestyle. When not enough prey comes by, their burrow these dinner plate-sized spiders go on the move. They can be climbing up bamboo stalks searching for buipedes, or on the ground looking for giant slugs. With no vertebrates around, these titans can rule the island freely, serving as its apex predator for now. And another island finished for our next trip. Why don't we go down south where it's actually much cooler than the north? If you look down to the bottom, you may see two islands, one frozen over, and the little patch of green right above it. We're going to explore the northern island first, since the southern island is just far too cold for any bats to live in, at least for now. On the island of Fleckener, the only bat you'll find here are flying foxes now. While the islands do have very different ecosystems, their temperatures are very similar, with all being considered jungles. But on Fleckener the temperature is cooling down over time, leaving the flying foxes to adapt to a changing environment that will soon be very different from what they're used to. Their way to survive: simple, a thicker shaggy coat of fur to keep themselves warm in this colder environment. Some, such as the zochs, became flightless in very similar way to the grounded foxes on the mainland. This doesn't mean these two animals are the same, as the zochs have a more omnivorous diet, not only eating grasses and fruits, but also insects. They don't stop there, however, as many of these bats can be seen swimming in search of aquatic plants, and some even scavenge from the corpses of other bats. This more diverse diet and greater competition, of course, led to more specialized descendants better adapted for this new world, such as the wassos, a more aquatic bat that lives in the coasts of Fleckener. These bats prefer to eat the many seagrasses and aquatic invertebrates around them, using their webbed feet to help swim, while they have taken the open niche of a large grazer in the seagrass. This doesn't mean they're safe, as now many aquatic predators can catch them, like river dolphins, canhai, and leopard whales. Even with all the aquatic predators, these bats would continue on the aquatic path, becoming more and more reliant on the water. These factors led to the rise of the otaus, a semi-aquatic bat found in the rivers and coasts of their island. They were omnivores who would eat anything they could find, hunting things as small as shrimp to baby river dolphins. To help with their new lifestyle, their front legs developed a skin flap in order to become more fin-like to help with swimming. This range of prey, however, was exclusive to the river species of otaus, since saltwater species had a lot more predators to compete with. While they may hunt small invertebrates, these otaus usually preferred seagrass to avoid competition with predators like leopard whales. While on the island itself, bats are the only vertebrates to be found in the island's shores. We must remember they are located right by the narwhal's habitat. Seeing the growth in aquatic bats, some narwhals traveled to these warmer waters interested in this potential prey. The leopard whale hunts in the shallows and seagrass meadows of the sea, adapting to live in these warmer waters. They use their echolocation to find the many animals in the seagrass, quickly skewering them with their tusk. To finish off this island, let's go over a different kind of creature, the mango trees. While they will mostly stay the same throughout the years, they will still have to adapt to changing environments, such as the Fleckener mango trees, other than their resistance to the colder climate. The only noticeable change is their odd pear-shaped fruit, native to only this island. While I may not go over plants much, just know the fruits and trees are always changing to fit their new homes. 2 more islands and our tour will be over. So let's go to an island I'm sure you'll be happy to see. If you look at the top left, you'll see the island of Weshut, not too far from the mainland. Why don't we go see what bats have been left alone on this island? The Honduran white bats are alone in this land. With their many figs here, they won't have to be overshadowed by the much larger herbivores. Here, they can instead branch out into their own niches, such as the faunus. To avoid competition completely with other white bats, these animals turn to a different good source insects, causing them to lose their bright colors. They now soar through the night searching for flying insects similar to, you guessed it, brown bats. Another bat went through a complete diet change as well. While they do still meet fruit frequently, these very small bats prefer to use their very long tongues to drink up the nectar around them, acting as pollinators on this island. Some bats, however, stick to their roots, still eating just from their figs, like the landermause, similar to mango hoppers. While they can no longer fly, they have stuck to the trees high off the ground to stay near their food. Unlike the mango hoppers, however, they have developed their own way of climbing, which is very similar to apes on Earth, using just their arms to swing around while their feet dangle. As successful as they were, there is just simply too many bats in the trees, making some of them leave for the ground where no bats were, such as the mouse hopping around with their strong forelimbs. Their feet instead act more like hands, helping these bats to make their complex nests. And with that, we're finally onto our last island. If you'll direct your eyes to the carrot-shaped island, we can go through this one last time. Similar to the mango trees in Fleckener, the mangoes on this island are faced with a new challenge: the intense heat surrounding them. And while just like the other trees, the only real difference is their fruit. Don't let that fool you, since these trees are the main reason the bats could even expand on this hot island. This new fruit, of course, attracted the hammerhead bats living in the same area. While the jungle in the north was nice, it's a bit crowded, so some traveled to see how it is in the south, specifically flightless bats like the clyfer. While their ability to fly is gone, they can still glide and use this to get around the very rocky areas of their home. This still wasn't enough, as once again, the land got crowded with all the clyfers around and no predators to keep the population in check. These factors created the tatramause, a clyfer descendant, that now roam during the day, allowing them to become much bigger compared to their ancestors. While they can no longer glide, they have repurposed their former wings to instead disperse heat so they can survive the hot climate. Close relatives of the tatramause, they stuck closer to their arboreal roots, staying near the trees for shelter. The sultanas fingers have moved down, giving them 5 fingers on each limb to help them climb. However, due to how recent this adaptation is, their fingers are very uneven, with some being much bigger than the others. The rattus is a small bat that seems to be aiming for the role of a rodent with a much more complex diet. They eat everything from trees, roots, insects, and even corpses. Their long whiskers help to find their food, as their small size and speed helps them get to it faster than any other bat can. Phew, we're all done. All 20-something animals explored. Sorry if I went a bit fast near the end. This video got corrupted somehow, so I was trying to fix it as fast as possible. Anyways, only other thing I have to say is that with this video, the Pluasic is officially finished, and the next video for this project will be starting a new era for landermause. And thank you all for watching till the end. I will see you all next time.